if you had to think of something, what do you think was the biggest lesson that you learned or figured out or can think of from losing your mom at such a young age, if there is one?
Losing your mom sucks.
Plainly stated, yeah.
Right. The biggest lesson I learned from losing my mom.
Putting you on the spot, baby.
Don't
lose your mom.
I really don't know, other than I think just it's kind of weird. I think that starting with the concept, I never want to feel anything again, and then taking that and fine tuning it where I don't want to be someone who's lets my emotions control me. Because a lot of people do that, and that's really problematic, where you just have no control of how you feel. And some people just want to be all emotional and think that that's somehow a good idea. It is not a good idea, in my opinion. I think you need to have some ability to control your state. So I have learned how to control my state, and I think that's a really good quality.
For sure. I'm 100%. I think, living, it's good to feel, in my opinion. So
of course,
I challenge the idea of like not wanting to feel, but the idea of controlling your feelings is so important, because so many times you can follow your emotions in many ways, but it can be a really dangerous path. You react.
The other thing I've learned how to do really well and is compartmentalize. So you're going through something big. You could have a family member who's sick, or someone dies, or you're broke, or whatever it might be, divorce. And to take one thing and let it just shit all over everything, bad. Even if let's just say if there's a situation where a whole family is plagued, no one needs you to fall apart. That's not going to help anybody. So if you can take that in stride, and this is that, and compartmentalize that, and then go on with the 7 other parts of your life. Now, I've had to do that several times, and I've usually kind of got my capabilities came down about 20%, but everything didn't go to shit. So imagine have to grieve over something, some type of big loss. And then at the end of that grieving process, everything is falling apart. You're out of shape. Your business is screwed. Maybe a relationship you're in has fallen apart as a result of this. How is that smart? And we do have, everyone has a choice on what they want to feel. They do. Now, again, I think it's important to keep it real and not suppress feelings. I'm not talking about suppressing feelings. I'm talking about making some conscious choices on how to feel in any given time but I really like that quality about myself.
Yeah, I think that's just attributed to your success and why you're able to, triumph over so many things that you've gone through. And I think that's what I was trying to get out of you and explain that perspective and the methods that you use. So hopefully someone that's listening that is going through it obviously can kind of cherry pick the ideas.
My family also has a dark sense of humor.
I definitely have the darkest in my family. I don't even know where the hell that came from, to be honest. It's weird. When I think about my sisters and my mom, I'm definitely...
All of us do.
Yeah.
So my dad...
black sheep, I think.
My dad probably almost died 8 times. He really didn't take care of himself at all. And he'd been in the hospital and had strokes and this and that, just so many times. I think I wrote 4 eulogies for him. And so one of them, we're sitting there and we're at the hospital. He is in a coma. He's out. Me and my brother and my stepmother go to Daily Grill and we plan the funeral. And me and my brother are both going to go home and write a eulogy, and we're planning the whole thing, and that happens. I go back the next day, literally thinking I'm just going to see him just lying there for the last time, and that'll be that. And I walk in, and he is awake talking to his best friend. And I walk in, and I don't know this is going to happen. And I walk in, I go, you're up. I'm so glad you are. I go, I was writing your eulogy last night, and I have a few questions.
That's amazing. That's so good. So it's just part of your writing process is like, hopefully they wake up and then now you can get to questions. You can refine your writing. That's incredible. Did you ask for questions?
By the way, I'm known for my eulogies.
What is that? I don't know if that's a good, I think that's a good thing, but also means a lot of people are dying around you or what?
Well, I did stand up.
Okay, right.
I've spoken a lot. And I think humor is an incredible delivery system. And I enjoy giving eulogies. I don't know.
I feel like I would take the same approach. I feel like I thought about this recently. Most eulogies are very, at least the ones I've heard, and I think by standard, very empowering. And how much I love this person. I hope when I pass, I kind of hope people roast me and make it more of like a Comedy Central eulogy type speech.
I've been to several like that.
I think
I've been part of several like that, and it's a captive audience.
Yeah, I mean, it's my sense of humor, especially coming from the East Coast. The more you make fun of something, Jeff, one of my video guys right now, we definitely poke him a lot, but it's a way of.
I do too.
But it's a way of love. The more we make fun of you, in my language, is we love. But I'm not gonna make fun of a stranger,
right?
But if you are a new friend and you start realizing I'm making fun of you more,
right?
I'm probably I probably like you,
right? Exactly.
So that's why I see that
my dad's from Washington Heights. I have cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, and I don't know. That's just me. I do think the humor. That's why anyone that is still listening right now, the idea of humor. Some people may take it disrespectful, but it diffuses it. And I think laughter is literally one of the best outlets for coping with something shitty in your life. And you can easily certain moments, sure, maybe you don't want to do it, but in your own living room, when you think about entangling humor with your trauma, to me, that is a very way of dumbing down reality in some ways, and in a respectable way.
It's interesting. I do it, and 99.99% of the time, I get away with it.
Same, I would think.
I think it's your delivery. If you're even if you're saying something that's offensive, if you're not doing it with a place of anger and judgment, it's obvious. That's one thing. If you're saying something even 10 times lighter than that, but you're anger, you're bitter, you're judgmental, and that is what you're coming from. That has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, then it's not a joke. Then it's
Don Rickles really never offended anyone ever. He was coming from a good place, and everyone recognized that.
Yeah.
Now, there's other comedians that aren't, but he is.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It is the delivery. Even sometimes I feel like the delivery comes natural if it's truly coming from a place of, not resentment or anger or bitter or being bitter in any sense. Then people are smart enough to read that.
Right.
So I just think that's an important part. So I love that. I don't know. Do you have any mic drops you want to hit the crowd right now with any, before we bow out of here?
What? It was funny. There was a couple other things. Well, I have some great, when I knew I was going to be on this show, I didn't know what the show was all about.
It's about life.
I did have some thoughts. So what would be some really good apps?
Oh, like death apps?
Death apps. What would piss me off? So I have this idea. So I have this new Apple Watch Ultra. If there was an app.
That's an Apple Watch?
Yeah.
Thing's massive.
It is.
It's like a Ford Bronco on your wrist.
It is. It's a good watch. But so on your Apple Watch, you have an app that if you are not, let's say within an hour, you don't breathe for an hour straight, you automatically send it.
An hour straight? You don't breathe for an hour straight?
If you're not breathing for an hour straight, you're probably dead.
Or David Blaine, but yes.
So this app automatically unsubscribes you to all your monthly subscriptions.
What if you come back to life?
Well, I said an hour.
Okay.
You're not coming back after an hour. Now, I actually was thinking, I go, well, maybe it should then start tracking the obituaries to see if you really did die.
You have to, that company has to have an audit system.
And, yes. And then it really needs to contact your next of kin saying, are you going to need HBO after you're going to be at home for a while? Or maybe give him an offer. Hey, listen, sorry he died. He had the subscription. We're going to give you a friends and dead family offer.
I like that. I like the automatic, it's like a will for your HBO subscription where it kind of just automatically transfers to the next person, but you get a $2 discount.
The other thing I thought about is I'm just this to-do list. Even post-sobriety, I do a lot of to-do lists. If you die, that is probably the one upside. No longer have to be concerned about that.
What bills?
The to-do list.
Oh, the to-do list.
No longer becomes relevant.
Well, we think that. That's the thing. I was thinking about that. I said this before, but we're survivalists. We want to survive and want to, because we don't want to, for some reason, we don't want to die. But what if if I find out that I die and so much better up there, I'd be so pissed that I was surviving for this long. So what if you get up there or down there, wherever you're going, and you have an immediate to-do list? What if Lucifer or, I'm not saying I believe in it, there were good guys like that. You know what? Come here, get in your room, clean your bunk, make your bed. What if there is a to-lose? We don't know.